still morning ride. Now, some people, through no fault of theirs, lose their sight, but helping them to cope with this challenge and live and achieve targets they've set for themselves or aspire to become anything in life is very important. And that is why my first guest today is someone for me is very interesting. And I have no other than the administrator of the Nigerian Society for the Blind. Welcome to Morning Ride.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
I had a guest one time here, someone who is blind, and because formally I would have described people like that as people with who have challenges with their sight or partially sighted. He told me point blank, he said, describe us as blind. We are blind. Okay, so that's why I'm saying blind. And so he said, Jennifer, do a simple test. Put a blindfold around your eyes and walk around for 10 minutes and get the experience of what it is to be blind. After he left, I tried it and it was not funny. So I can imagine if that is what you have to live with all your life.
Exactly.
So in working and dealing with these people, psychologically, how does the whole not seeing thing affect them?
It actually affects the person first and foremost. And that's why we have the rehabilitation center. By the way, my name is Ivy Bassey, and I'm the administrator, just like you said. It affects their confidence. They totally lose confidence and they totally lose their bearing. And so when they come into the rehabilitation center, which we have the vocational training center, we try as much as possible to help them regain their confidence, help them find their footing back in life, and help them face the challenges, making them to realize the fact that visual handicap is not the end of the world. It's just I want to call it a phase in life, and that does not mean they cannot achieve their goal in life. Again, they actually set goals for themselves, and with the help of the rehabilitation, the various skills they acquire, the various educational training we give to them, they're back on their feet to face the challenges of
Okay, life. So you have rehabilitation plans for them.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
The rehabilitation plan we have for them is actually one to help them acquire skills. They learn how to make baskets. They learn how to make tie and dye materials. They learn how to make soap. They learn liquid and tablet soap. They learn how to do a lot of cane work. They learn how to even do a body massage. They learn how to do a lot of things with their fingers, because when the sight is gone, they have so much to realize. They're totally dependent on the use and the feel of the fingers, and so they use more of that. Even in training them how to use the computer too, they do not use the cursor. They use a soft speech software, and they learn how to write Braille and read Braille. So they do a lot of things with their fingers because of the loss of sight.
Well, how do you select people that benefit from your rehabilitation initiative?
What we do is, when the forms for admission are on sale, they come in and then we conduct an interview. We make sure that apart from the visual impairment, they do not have any health challenges again, because sometimes with visual impairment they could have problems with the brain. They could have diabetes, for instance, and a lot of other things. So we try as much as possible to look through their medical records and see that they do not have any health challenges apart from the visual impairments. So they come in, and those who've been through school up to secondary school level, and sometimes we have undergraduates amongst them, sometimes we have graduates. We make them run a 1-year program, and that 1-year program leads them into the educational aspect of it, which helps them to go back to school. Those who are not that fortunate have to go through a 2-year program, and then they learn a lot of skills. They acquire the skills and which helps them to become independent the moment they graduate.
And I'm wondering, how do you pass in the information that the application you're taking people that that they can apply?
We have newspaper adverts for the advertisement for the forms to be out. We have newspaper adverts, and sometimes the students themselves, the ex-students, know when these forms are supposed to be out. So the password is usually one-on-one, and sometimes when even in churches and things, we go around telling them, look, our forms are out. If you have any visually handicapped person at home, don't just keep them at home. Bring them back to school. Send them to the rehabilitation center, and then that's we take off from there.
So how do you get funding for your programs?
We have lots and lots of programs. For instance, our major funding program is coming up on Friday this week, 24th of May, at the Moson Center. We call it the May Ball Dinner and Dance. That's where we raise a lot of funds. And then we have other activities, like on the 4th of April, we had our inter-house sports. This visually impaired take part in sports, and we did that at Unilag Sports Center. And then we realized some funds. We have membership day too. We realize even churches, some Muslims, some organizations, banks and things, they come in and help us. They give us money. They virtually help to make rehabilitation of the blind worth the while for us.
Okay, but do you work with just people in Lagos or people who are not in Lagos? Do you also have a way that you reach out to them and also select people who
our students are not just based in Lagos? There's some, for instance, I spoke with one who is based in Edo State. He's coming, they were on holidays. He's actually resuming tomorrow. We have some from Akwa Ibom State, some from Anambra State, some from Abia State, all over the world, all over Nigeria. We have them coming into Oshodi.
And apart from the Mayball, how else do you have individuals who, for instance, take up the payment or fees of some of the students, or do you have people who work as mentors to some of those you are rehabilitating?
We have a few who come in as mentors. For instance, let me say this. 2 years ago, a lady turned 50. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention her name.
No, just continue with the story.
She turned 50 and she had a birthday Thanksgiving service, and she said to all her guests, look, whatever you're giving to me as a birthday present, monetize it, and everything is going to the Nigeria Society for the Blind. And she gave us over about 1.6 million. We have banks helping us. Recently, Lagos State just gave us a windfall to complete our the workshop. We're renovating and equip it so that we can have an ultra-modern workshop for the students' training. Churches too, they help us. We have quarterly worship service in churches, and each time we go to worship there, funds are raised for the society.
For a society that was established
In
decades, 1955.
A long time.
It's been a very long time. Now, what impact would you say you have achieved, or what impact would you say you have done over the years?
Over the years, we've turned out well over, I want to say well over 2,000 students, and they're well placed. They're back on their feet. They are back on their feet, excelling in the different fields of their choice. For instance, we have some who are lawyers back on who are practicing. Particularly, we have one who is back in the law school. She lost her sight when she was about entering into the law school. Now she's back there. There's some who are businessmen and women who are doing quite well. So over the years, we've been able to impact the society by turning out graduates who are confident again, who picked up the threads of their confidence. Let me say that.
Thank you, Ivy Bassey, for coming to the program, and I think you're doing a good job, and keep up the good work.